and gentlemen, please put your hands together for a fabulous storyteller, Mr. John McCune.
You know, if you would have asked me a number of years ago, I would have proudly told you that I was involved in a very special, and I thought a very solid marriage. I was wrong, but I would have told you that anyway. I kid sometimes when I tell people we could have given Dr. Phil enough material for a week's worth of shows. It's 1970. I am 6 months from high school graduation, at which point I become eligible for the next round of military draft of our young men to be brought into the armed forces, be trained, and deployed to Vietnam. I decided I wanted nothing to do with it. Now, my local draft board offered a small array of deferments for people who wish to sidestep this process, but the only one that fit me was that of conscientious objector, and it fit me to a T. I endured a couple panel interviews with folks at the board to guarantee my sincerity, as it were. And then they suggested that I solicit as many reference letters from my inner circle to attest to my sincerity. I set to this task with a fervor. About a month later, I received a letter at home from my brother-in-law, Joe Harris. He said that the military could teach me something called discipline of character, which, John, you could use a good dose of in your life. Believe me, John, his letter read, in combat, when it's you or them, your instincts and your training will come to bear, and you will do whatever you must do to survive. He ended with this line, and it changed the course of my life. He said, I will write your draft board, John, and I will tell them that you are sincere in your conviction, but I will also tell them that you will not feel the same way in 5 years. I thought maybe he was referring to the thousands of guys my age across our country, especially my friends in high school, who were in the same predicament. I don't think Joe Harris was trying to change my mind. I think Joe Harris was trying to change my heart. And even now, on a good day, the distance between my head and my heart are the longest 14 inches in the world. So, for the love and the courage it took for that man to write that letter, I thank Joe Harris. And for tonight, I thank you. Thanks a lot, guys. Thank you. On February 18th of 1977, I sat high in the balcony at the Lansing Civic Center, and we heard Harry Chapin sing his hit song, Taxi. During the concert, Harry made reference to the band's opinion of the local Lansing Albert Pick Motor Hotel. I made a note of that, and shortly after midnight, I stood in the lobby of that hotel with his double live album, hoping to get an autograph. I went to the desk clerk and I said, I'm with the Lansing State Journal and I have an exclusive interview with Harry Chapin tonight. I figured he'd just give me the man's room number, but no. He then turned to me and handed me the phone and said, Mr. Chapin would like a word with you. I had not planned on that, but I heard my daddy in the back of my head say, Johnny, when all else fails, try telling the truth. So I said, Harry, I'm just a fan. I was at the show. I'm downstairs. I'd like an autograph. Surprisingly enough, the man said in his post-concert raspy voice, I'm in 208. Come on up. Back in my late teens and to my late 20s, I was in a very dysfunctional relationship. Near the end, I demanded that my partner be with me everywhere I went and did everything with me. I was hospitalized 3 times, 77, 79, and again in 80. The doctors all told me the same thing. Get out of this relationship and do not go back. I'm referring, of course, to my decade-long love affair with beverage alcohol. You know, I lost my father when I was 18. And when I found him on his bedroom floor, I went directly to the kitchen and I retrieved his prized bottle of Old Granddad 100 proof bottled in bond bourbon. I poured 4 fingers into a tumbler, and within about a minute and a half it was gone. Thus started a 10-year period in my life where I used alcohol as a way of dealing with life's ups and downs. What I'm trying to portray to you is anything that stood between me and the next drink, the deal was off. On March 23rd of 1980, I took what was to prove to be my last drink, although I did not know it at the time. I prayed that I would never again wake and face this horror of a life that I had built for myself. I did wake up the next morning on the 24th with a rosary around my neck and a letter from Connie Gage, an old girlfriend, begging me to stop killing myself on the installment program. Well, on that 24th of March, I got cleaned up and I went to visit a group of friends who had been trying to help me for years. When it came my turn to speak, I simply said, "Tell me what to do, and I'll do it." Well, they started telling me. And ladies and gentlemen, within inches and seconds, I saved my life by following a set of simple directions. I stand here before you tonight, a free man, but make no mistake, it is only through the care and the grace of a loving God, and I know that deal will never be broken. Thank you very much. Thank you. Now, I want to tell you something. We have all gotten used to resetting some of these marvels that we carry around with us and that we work on. Desktop computers, laptop computers, cell phones, smart TVs. Oh, and me. I would have loved to have been in the room in the 1950s when the most intelligent cardiologists were sitting around saying it would be so nice to be able to operate on a heart except for the fact that it's pulsing. You know, somebody in that room said, "Shut it off." And their response was, "What? You can't do that." Well, you know, they invented a heart-lung machine, and they were able to stop the heart long enough to go in and do what they call CABG, coronary artery bypass grafting. And I know this because I had this done August of 2020. Now, ever since I got the theme for tonight, I have realized that I am just like those little things that we reset all the time. And now, in the future, when I do have to reset my computer or my phone, I will pause, say a very simple thank you for the fact that I am still alive to tell you about it. Thanks very much. Thank you. You know, I've only been dazzled a handful of times in my life, but I'm here to tell you about the very last time. It's November 18th of 2011. Many of you know I spent 45 years in the grocery business. I was busying myself one day and I was aware that a woman was coming toward me from the left. Well, she already had a couple things in her arms and I thought, she needs help. And if not me, who? So I grabbed a handbasket and I met her back at the delicatessen. She turned and looked at me, and I was in awe. I was like a deer in the headlights. Her eyes twinkled, and her smile lit up the entire area. I said, you know, I'm starting my New Year's resolution early, trying to learn the names of my frequent customers. I see you in here often, and I've never known your name. My name is John. My good friends call me Mac. I hope someday you call me Mac. She said, my name is Bethany, and I will be shocked if you remember. I bid her a good day, and I went into the back room, retrieved my trusty notepad, and I wrote, Bethany, shocked if I remember. Over the next 2.5 years, we were in an on-again, off-again friendship relationship. But she knew that in February of 2014, I was moving to the south coast of Oregon to be closer to my kids who lived outside Frisco. She made several trips out to see me, but as a lot of us may know, maintaining a relationship over 2,350 miles is difficult at best. Well, it ran its course, and there was a period of time when we did not communicate whatsoever for 225 days. I got up one morning and read my meditation, and it said, our problem is we think we have time. I got on the phone and I called that woman. Over the next 3 days, the plans were laid out. I would button up my business in Oregon. She would fly out. We'd pack my car with the essentials, and we would drive back to Michigan and start our life together. We were married 2 months later. Now, the Moth stories are supposed to be true, so I brought Bethany for show and tell. But I want to thank Bethany for dazzling me that day, for dazzling me most days since then. And one last thing, please, in these uncertain times and in certain dark times ahead, please keep your light on. Heaven knows the world needs it. Thanks, guys. Thanks a lot.